There's a reason you were drawn here, not by accident, not by coincidence. You were meant to hear this, not with noise around you, not with distractions, but in silence, because some truths only speak when the world goes quiet. Some truths are not shouted, they are whispered. And when you hear them, really hear them, something inside you changes. You've been waiting, maybe without knowing, waiting for something real, something deep, something that doesn't just entertain your mind but awakens your soul. This is that moment, so listen closely. Let the noise fall away. Let the silence rise like a tide around you, because what happens next begins with what you allow yourself to feel right now. You think tomorrow will be like today, but that's the illusion. Time is not linear. Reality is not fixed. The moment you see differently, the moment you feel differently, the moment you think differently, everything changes. Your timeline bends, your future rearranges, your path shifts, and the universe responds. Most people are trapped in loops, thought loops, emotion loops, habit loops. They wake up, think the same thoughts, feel the same feelings, do the same things, and then wonder why life doesn't change. But nothing can change outside until something changes inside. That's where your power begins, and it begins in silence. There is a kind of silence that heals, a silence that reveals, a silence that shows you what your busy mind hides from you. That silence is sacred. It doesn't belong to the world. It belongs to your soul. And when you let it speak, truly speak, it tells you what you've forgotten, who you really are, why you're really here, and what tomorrow could become, because you are not small. You were never meant to shrink to fit the world. You were meant to stretch it, to bend it, to shape it, with your vision, with your intention, with the thoughts you allow to grow. Every thought is a seed, every emotion is water, and your attention is sunlight. What you tend to grows, so look at what you've been growing. What thoughts have you been repeating? What beliefs have you been breathing life into? What stories have you been telling yourself quietly, endlessly, silently, even as your outer world pretends everything is fine? That story creates your tomorrow. That loop becomes your life, but you can choose again. In this moment, right now, and it starts with awareness, not blame, not guilt, just presence. Silence allows awareness. Awareness allows change, and change creates space. Space for something new, space for something higher, space for the version of you that's been waiting to be remembered. That version of you already exists. The one who is calm, clear, and strong. The one who trusts the unknown, who doesn't chase but attracts, who doesn't react but creates, who doesn't fear tomorrow because they are building it with sacred intention. That version of you is real and closer than you think. All you have to do is align. Align with that frequency. Align with that truth. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop becoming who you're not. The fear isn't yours. The doubt isn't yours. The shame isn't yours. These are programs, echoes, inherited beliefs, stories borrowed from broken systems. Let them go, even if just for now. Because when you are still, the real you can rise. And when the real you rises, the world moves, energies shift, people appear, paths open, ideas flood in. That's the magic no one talks about, the power of stillness, the creative force of silence. It's not passive, it's potent. It rearranges the unseen, and the unseen creates the scene. Tomorrow isn't written yet. You think it's already on its way, like a train you can't stop, but the tracks are still forming. The direction is still shifting. Your thoughts lay the rails. Your emotions choose the speed. Your energy determines the destination. The world responds to who you are, not what you say you want. And that's why silence is the beginning. Because when you're silent, you stop lying to yourself. You stop distracting yourself. You hear the patterns. You hear the longing. You hear the resistance. And you can finally ask the question that changes everything. What do I want to feel tomorrow? Not what do I want to get? Not what do I want to achieve? What do I want to feel? Because feeling is the magnet. Feeling is the code. Feeling is the language the universe speaks. And you are the author. But if you keep writing tomorrow from yesterday's emotions, the story will never change. If you keep choosing comfort over growth, fear over truth, noise over presence, then you'll wake up to the same life in a different disguise. But if, instead, you take this silence and fill it with clarity, with vision, with gratitude, with power, then tomorrow bends. Reality listens. The old path dissolves, and something impossible becomes inevitable. But you must choose it. You must feel it. You must hold the frequency long enough to become it. This is not about wishful thinking. This is not about pretending to be happy. This is about alignment, radical alignment, honest alignment. Asking, am I thinking thoughts that serve my highest self? Am I feeling emotions that empower my becoming? Am I acting in ways that prove I believe in the future I say I want? If the answer is no, good. That means you're awake. That means you're not sleepwalking. That means you can begin again. Right now, without shame, without self-hate, with stillness, with breath, with silence. Because the truth is, you are not your past, you are not your patterns. You are the one who observes them, the one who decides. And when the decision is clear, life begins to move. Reality shifts to match your conviction. Not instantly, but undeniably. Your vibration becomes a beacon, a tuning fork, a light tower in the fog. People won't know why they feel drawn to you. Opportunities won't understand why they bend in your direction. But you'll know. It's alignment. And alignment changes everything. But the universe doesn't move because you want it to. It moves because you become the kind of person it must respond to. It's not desire that magnetizes your future. It's embodiment. It's when you embody the feeling before the fact, when you vibrate the outcome before the evidence, when your energy speaks louder than your doubt, and that begins in silence. Because silence is where you find the truth you've been avoiding. Silence is where the noise dies, and what remains is pure signal. No distractions, no illusions, just you and your frequency. Just you and the mirror of the moment. Just you and the decision to either react or rise. You don't have to earn your power. You already have it. You've always had it. But you buried it beneath fear, beneath shame, beneath the opinions of people who never understood you. You let the world dim your frequency because you didn't know how to protect it. But now you do. Now you remember. Now you choose again. You are not here to survive. You are not here to fit in. You are here to awaken, to rise, to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. And in silence, that memory returns. In silence, the soul speaks. And when the soul speaks, you listen not with your ears, but with your being. Tomorrow will not change because you wish for it. Tomorrow will change because you prepare for it. Internally, energetically, emotionally. You meet it from the inside out. You pre-live it through your vibration. And the vibration you carry now becomes the blueprint of what's to come. It echoes forward, shaping time, bending outcomes, unlocking timelines that once seemed impossible. Everything you desire already exists. Not in some faraway realm, but in the frequency field that surrounds you now. You don't chase it, you align with it. You don't force it, you tune to it. You don't beg it, you become the version of yourself that it cannot ignore. That's the secret. That's the doorway. That's the silence. And when you carry that silence into your day, into your work, your relationships, your presence, everything around you shifts to match it. People notice. Opportunities notice. Life notices. Because life always responds to coherence, to clarity, to congruence. When your inner world is clean, your outer world cannot stay dirty. But you must be willing to lose the old story. You must be willing to shed the identity that no longer serves your future. The version of you that was built on fear, on lack, on wounds, that version cannot walk with you into the next chapter. Let them go. Bless them. Release them. Mourn them even. But leave them behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not lost. You are shedding. You are not late. You are right on time. And everything you've walked through, every detour, every silence, every shadow, it all brought you here. To this moment, to this breath, to this choice. Do not underestimate what happens in silence. Some of the greatest revolutions begin in stillness. Some of the most powerful healings happen without a sound. Your silence is not absence, it is presence. It is the space where the false falls away. And the real, the eternal, begins to emerge. So if you feel something stirring in you now, it's not random. It's not just words. It's your soul recognizing the signal. It's your higher self whispering, yes, this is the way. And if you trust that signal, if you follow it, it will lead you not to safety, but to freedom. Not to ease, but to truth. There will be resistance. There will be noise. There will be days when the old energy pulls you back. That's normal. That's part of the path. The key is not perfection, it's persistence. Come back to silence. Again and again. Come back to presence. Come back to alignment. Come back to the breath. Because the breath is the bridge. Everything you seek begins in the breath. Clarity, healing, power, peace, all of it starts with awareness. And awareness lives in the breath, not in the past, not in the future, right here, in this inhale, in this exhale. Let the breath wash over you. Let it reset your nervous system. Let it clear the static and anchor you in now, because now is where you choose your tomorrow. Not by wishing, not by forcing, but by feeling. Feeling the frequency of your next chapter, feeling the strength of your future self, feeling the truth that you are already enough, that you were never separate from what you seek, only distracted from it. So watch this in silence, and let the silence change you. Let it whisper things you forgot. Let it remind you that your power is not in what you do, but in what you allow yourself to become. You don't need more information. You need more embodiment. You don't need more control. You need more surrender. And when you surrender to the silence, you surrender to your soul. And the soul never leads you wrong. The soul never rushes. The soul never doubts. It knows. It remembers. It speaks not in noise, but in knowing. And that knowing is yours now, if you choose it, if you trust it, if you allow it. So tomorrow, when the world begins to spin again, pause. Pause before you speak. Pause before you scroll. Pause before you fall into old patterns. And remember this silence. Remember this moment. Remember this version of you, the one who knows, the one who sees, the one who creates. And when you walk into tomorrow, don't walk as you were. Walk as who you're becoming. Walk with awareness, with presence, with clarity. Watch how people respond differently. Watch how the world bends differently. Watch what opens that never did before, because something will shift, something will open, something will answer, not because of magic, but because of you, because of who you chose to be when no one was watching, because of what you allowed yourself to feel when no one else could see. because you dared to go quiet when the world demanded noise. And now the silence echoes forward, through time, through space, through tomorrow, and everything changes.